it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and today we are talking planner launch thoughts. So I thought I would sit down and talk about planner launch season and kind of my approach going forward to this as a planner YouTuber. It's a little bit different approach than I would have if I was just somebody who liked planners. I would really still have these same inclinations of, oh, shiny new planner, I want all of them, but I think I have way more planners than most normal planning people because I do this for this YouTube channel. It's a hobby of mine that I'm trying to turn into a little bit of an income source. So I feel like I have a little bit different spin on it, but I do have some tips and tricks and some thoughts moving into planner launch season. I have quite a few planners coming, maybe like half a dozen to a dozen planners on the way to me or pre-ordered, and they will be planners that I show to you guys and share, and there are some that I absolutely love for my own sake, like I want to personally use them and they're shiny and new and exciting. They're also planners that I know that people generally speaking, really like, and I can make affiliate money through using and sharing those planners. So it's like a two-sided thing. It's like one is like the businessy, trying to make money side of things and keep this channel afloat with that aspect, and one of it is like I am a planner addict and I want all the planners, and some of them are just strictly for me because I love them and they make my heart sing. So I'm approaching it from two different ways. By the way, we're gonna stop for a second, stop talking planners because I got really into it all of a sudden in the beginning. Without giving my disclaimer, I got a tattoo. It is not completely done yet, so I really don't want to talk too much about it yet. I'll do a whole video once it's complete, but I went through my first session, so all of the line work is like first round done. I'm gonna have to stand up because the camera's not showing the whole thing. Maybe I'll just sit up a little bit, but it was all inspired, first of all, by my butterfly I've had since I was 17. And yeah, all the line work is pretty much done. He'll touch it up in a couple of weeks. And I have an appointment in a couple of weeks to finish in the shading and coloring aspect of it. So this was just the first round, and it will be on my arm, but I don't really want to talk about it yet because it's not quite done. That's like an in-progress tattoo that's just going to be showing up in my videos for a few weeks until I get it all the way done. And then I will probably sit down and do an entire video on my tattoo experience. I've had the little butterfly since I was 17, and I've always loved tattoos, and I especially love floral tattoos, and I finally got the nerve to finally do it, but it was a long time coming. I'll talk about all of the stuff leading up to it, all the technical stuff, the aftercare, everything, once it's all the way done. Right now it's just like halfway there. So anyway, we'll get that out of the way just because I know somebody's gonna see it in these videos and make comments like, whoa, that's different. So we'll talk about it later, but this video is all about planning and planner season, and yes, it's planner launch season. I have already tried really hard to resist lots of planners. As a fellow planner addict, like the whole purpose of me talking about planners is I'm a planner addict and I love planners. So this goes back to my scrapbook channel. Some of my first videos were planner videos. I just love planners. I love stationery. I was the kid with the Lisa Frank binder and stationery set and the gel pens, and you know, when the scented gel pens and the glitter gel pens came out, the ones that could write on black. All of this was my childhood, and I just lived for that stuff, and I still live for that stuff. I'm still like a very wannabe artsy, color-loving person, and so this all just feeds this little need inside me to like have all the colors and have all the pretty things and collect all the things. I feel a little bit like Little Mermaid, like having my collection of stuff. So like just seeing them up on the shelf makes me super happy, even though I'm not gonna sit there and use every single one front to back. That's where this whole planner thing stems from. This whole YouTube stuff stems from. It was the same thing with the scrapbooking. I love pretty things. It feeds into that pretty paper and pretty pens thing, even in the scrapbook world. You know, it's just a natural thing for me to progress to like being obsessed with planners at some point. But I have this first thing on my list. You don't need every planner. And I say that and I see the hypocrisy. I see the hypocrisy here that you don't need every planner. And I'm telling you, as somebody who buys way too many planners, I don't need every planner. And there are quite a few planner launches this season that I have looked at and I've added things to cart and I've resisted checking out because at the end of the day, they're not planners that are gonna fit in my lineup. I like my personal lineup of the planners I want to use, and it's also not gonna fit in with like, can I make money sharing this planner? Like, can I be on their affiliate crew? Can I be a PR person for them? Can I get massive views from showing and sharing these planners? So these are all the businessy side of things that I'm really, really trying to concentrate on instead of the, oh, shiny new, I want it. kind of aspect. So I'm really trying to change up my lineup this year for ones that just logically make sense from like a return on investment businessy side of things. And I hate that like ickiness it adds to my thought process, but that's really part of it. You know, I can't buy $1,000 worth of planners. It's just too much to do for a channel that generates, you know, this much money. I can't spend this much money. So that's part of the process for me, is like I have a set dedicated budget for what I'm going to spend on this planner launch. A lot of it went towards Moxie Life stuff because I love the Moxie Life stuff. I've talked about it. I've used it now for 2 years really consistently. It's a game changer for me personally, but also not only that, I can be on their affiliate crew and make money sharing those items too. So it's a twofold thing. You know, it helps me on the back end business money side of things, but it also personally is one of my favorite planners of all time. You know, it makes sense. So I put a lot of money into my planner launch for Moxie Life, and it was deeply discounted since I am a part of their affiliate crew, but also I spent my own personal money on that, you know? So it's things like that where I spent my own personal money on Sterling ink planners because I've used a Sterling ink planner pretty consistently most of this year, and I just love them. I love the way they look. I love the Tomoe River paper. It's just one of my absolute loves. And I chose new to me planners to review that are planners that are either like sort of popular or new to me planners that I want to test out just personally on a personal basis. So I have some new planners, new to me planners to experiment with and play around with, but I didn't get everything, you know? So my personal planner videos coming up on this channel, they're not gonna be all the shiny new planners. And I'm gonna have a dedicated like planner launch video talking about what planners I didn't buy, what planners I didn't spend money on. So that's gonna be different from previous years where I'm like, if I'm talking about it, I'm buying it and I'm showing it like in person and feeling it in my hands. I've got a few planners that I have gotten over the years. I'm not buying again for this year, even though I've made relationships with these companies. I didn't choose to buy those ones because they're just not ones that personally work for me, even though they are widely popular planners. So these are going to be planners you're going to hear about in my planner regrets for 2023. But I changed a lot of things this year. I've turned down planner companies quite a few times that have approached me and like, hey, will you review my planner for the next launch? I've turned some of those down. So I'm being way more choosy with how I'm approaching it from all aspects. And with that said, I still have like a dozen planners that I'm going to share with you guys for the 2024 launch. So definitely stay tuned. Be sure to have your notifications on, subscribe so you can follow me along and see what planners I actually do talk about, because I feel like I'm way more choosy this year than I have been the previous 2 years. And I think that is just beneficial all around, beneficial for me from a business and money making standpoint and budget standpoint, and it's beneficial for you that I'm not sharing 5 billion planners. I'm narrowing it down a little bit, so I'm not giving you guys any of that FOMO feeling. Hopefully you guys will see the planners and get some informed decisions, and I really try to give my best, most honest feedback to you guys of what I like, what I don't like. Especially that planner regrets video is a super popular one where I just share it all. I put it all out on the line, like what I like, what I don't like, why certain planners don't work for me personally. It's just one of those things where it's going to be a little bit different this year as far as planner launch stuff. So that's me going into my thought process for planner launch. So we're going to walk through like step by step, the tips part of this video. The first thing when I see a new planner is, do I need this? Does it fit some sort of need in my planner scape? And also I try to remember, don't need every planner. I don't need every planner. Just because it's shiny and new and looks beautiful, I'm really totally a sucker for a floral or a bright color scheme planner. Just because I think it's beautiful does not mean I need it physically in my hands. I can appreciate it from a distance. And that is a really hard concept for me when I'm like, see it, want it, buy it, and then don't even think about it. Don't even think about the consequences of, oh, I just blew 50 bucks on another planner that, hello, like I'm not going to use from cover to cover. I'm just like, oh, I can post it on my YouTube channel. I don't even think about anything more than I'm posting it on my YouTube channel and it's pretty. So I'm really trying to get rid of that like, oh, shiny new, I want it type of thing, and really think through the purchases. So like I said, there have been lots of planner pre-orders and things coming up where I've added things to cart and I've thought about it and I've almost checked out, and then I'm like, but do I really need this one? Like, what need does this actually fill? So that's a big part of it, is I really thought through what I wanted personally for my planners, what I wanted to share on this channel, and also I have that as another video that I'm gonna chit chat with you guys about, is like, what do I personally want in my planner lineup? I have ideas, I have different planners that can fit those categories, and I'll talk about that in a separate video of like what specifically I need. I need a fitness planner, I need a goal planner, all that kind of stuff, where I'm specifically talking what categories I need planners for and what planners I'm kind of thinking about. I'm not gonna mention like every planner on my radar, but it's gonna be a kind of a comprehensive list of the planners that I'm considering for certain aspects of my planning. So what's on my wish list is a big thing. Like, what shiny new things do I want that will actually be functional for me as a personal planner lover? Not just a YouTube planner, like this is me planner wall, not just to stick another planner on the shelf and review for you guys a couple of times. Like, what do I really want in my own planner, organization, productivity, goal setting life? So these are questions that you can ask yourself too. If you're struggling with the same thing, I have FOMO. Like, I see other people's YouTube videos on certain planners, and after I've seen them enough on the videos, I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm missing out because I don't have this planner. And I could see how that is a really big trap for a lot of us, especially if you're just somebody who watches YouTube videos and you don't have the justification that I have, where I'm like, oh, I'm making YouTube videos for this, so that's my excuse for buying all the planners. It's like, oh, this feeds into my YouTube videos. But then, like, when I'm going back on the back end side of things and seeing which ones got views, which ones I actually made AdSense money on, which ones I made affiliate credits on, some of those don't line up, you know? Like, I'm spending 60 bucks or 50 bucks on a planner and I'm making 10 bucks off of it. Those lines don't add up, you know? That's still in the negative. And some of it is a passion and, you know, a happy thing for me, but I can't be doing that with every planner. I have to make wiser decisions. And I feel like if I was just planning just for me, not for YouTube, I'd have to have a list of what planner or planners I want, what functionalities I want. So I have a little tiny list of questions to ask. I've kind of talked about some of those already, but I'm gonna walk down my list and just kind of list them for you guys. So one, make a list of what worked the previous year. So for 2023, what has worked for me? The Sterling ink, having a sticker sneeze. Love having a sticker sneeze. I need some sort of journaling aspect. I need a goal setting. I need some sort of daily or weekly or both schedule, and also a monthly calendar. I just have a plain old monthly sitting on my desk. This has worked great for me for the last 2 years, and I will continue to have that as a part of my planning system. So I have a lot of different aspects of planning. Like, I want a fitness planner because I really take exercise very seriously. I'm trying to get healthier and healthier, so certain aspects of fitness and wellness are important to me. That could be another planner. So these are things I've asked myself, is what has worked for 2023? Then question number 2 is, what planners do I need? What planner functionalities do I need? Do I need habit trackers? Do I need a vertical or horizontal spread? Like, all these questions are questions you can ask yourself when you're going into planner season. Like, what am I gonna get for 2024? Not just, ooh, this one's shiny and new. These are questions you can ask yourself and work through and come up with something that's gonna be more logical for you than just, ooh, shiny, new, exciting. So for me, it's all about trying to tame that side of things and really try to tap into what actually is going to be useful. Instead of buying 4 planners that don't work, you can maybe buy 1 or 2 that are gonna work for you. I'm really hoping that these questions help me personally, but I also hope they help you guys too, because I know, like, especially as somebody who's a planner enabler, when I'm like, ooh, hey guys, this one's shiny and new, I know I feed into that FOMO and I feed into that planner excitement, and that's fun. I know it's fun, but there's also a part where you have to kind of rein it in too. So this is my video trying to rein it in for me and also trying to rein it in for you guys too. So when you see me posting 12 new planners, that doesn't mean you need 12 new planners, you know? You need just like 1 or 2, maybe a couple. If you're like me, you want like categorized planners, so you want a few. And I do that partly just to have more planners, partly to just play with more planners. But that's a really important question. What planner functions do you need? So if you see a vertical planner that's really pretty, but you want a horizontal planner, it answers the question and it narrows the list. So that's a really important part, I feel like. And then what's on my wish list? Like, what will make my heart sing? What do I want it to look like? Those are questions. Like, if you want an all neutral planner, a rainbow throw up planner is not the right choice. Even though it's shiny and pretty and fancy, you have to know what you like and actually will use, even though you can appreciate all of them. Again, going back to my first line, I don't need every planner. I'm trying to convince myself just as much as I'm trying to convince you guys. So that's a really important one. Like, do you want an all-in-one planner? Do you want separate planners for separate categories? categories. These are all things that go into that decision-making aspect of it. And also, a really, really important one is what's in my budget and what am I willing to spend on a planner? Like, I'm reading from one of my absolutely most expensive planners to date, the Golden Coil. This one is super pricey. I think this one, how I decked it out and filled up the maximum amount of pages, I think it was about $100. Like, that's a lot for a planner. And guess what? I'm not getting a Golden Coil for 2024 just because the price of it is so expensive and there are other options that I can explore. Do I want another Golden Coil? Absolutely. I think it's beautiful. I think the paper's great. I have lots of great things to say about this, and I will review this planner in depth, but it's a hecka expensive planner as far as planners go. Like, you can find just as good, just as functional in a way cheaper price point. But it's one that I'm like, it's expensive. People love it. I want to try it out. I know why people love it. It's a great premium planner. Nobody needs a $100 planner or a $90 planner, you know? It's just excessive and expensive. And I'm going into the next year trying to make better choices. That's all this video is about. Is I'm trying to make better planner choices, better budget choices. So what's in my budget and what am I willing to spend? Like, can I afford to spend $100 on a planner? Yeah, it's not gonna break the bank. It's not gonna like cause me hardship. So I technically can afford it, but I don't want to spend that much per one planner. Even though I've used it all year, cover to cover, I choose not to spend that money. And you can make the same choices too. You don't have to have the most expensive planner out there. And I'm not going to this next year. I'm not going to have the most expensive planners. I'm actually choosing a few that are kind of budget options for my own personal scrapbooking. I keep saying scrapbooking instead of planning because I'm a scrapbooker too, but for my own personal planning, I picked some kind of budget level options, not just the most expensive, fanciest planners out there, because sometimes I just need the basics for certain categories. So that's just something to consider, is like, what do you want to spend on your planner life? And so that goes into like what my approach is as a planner YouTuber. I told you guys I'm not buying all the planner launches. I'm mostly sticking with some tried and true planners with a few new and shiny ones thrown in. I've also logistically like gone to the back end and like, okay, I really want this planner. The launch is great. I want to get it. I'm an affiliate for them. I go back into the back end and see how much money I have made off of this planner in my affiliate credits. Some of them blew me away, like how much I made off of certain planners. And thank goodness they happen to be ones I really like too. And then there are other ones that I've liked, okay, they're beautiful, I love them, but I've made like $3 back, like all year long, like $3 off this planner. That means I sold one planner. Like one person clicked through my link and bought planners, and I was kind of shocked. I'm like, ooh, I spent like 60 bucks on this planner, or, you know, more than that on some cases, and I made $3 back. So certain ones, it just doesn't make sense from a standpoint of I didn't personally use the planner, and I made zero money off of it. You know, I have to really just think that way. And it's kind of hard to think that way when I'm like, oh, but the planner's new, the launch is gonna be amazing. I really want it, it's beautiful. But on the back end, I'm like, oh, I don't sell this planner. My people on here don't like this planner. They don't buy this planner through me. So it's hard for me to put more money into that kind of a planner. As beautiful as it is and as functional as it is, my audience, you guys, is not buying this planner. So it doesn't make sense for me to use it. And it's really hard for me to switch into that mindset. I'm not a business person. I'm not trying to like make a ton of money on this. Like, my husband's the breadwinner and this is my hobby, but I would also like it to generate a little bit of money and at least like fund itself. You know, I don't want to like spend a lot of family money. I'd like to spend just the money that I make and wrap it back into this channel. So a lot of this is rambling on the back end stuff. So I hope it like makes sense for you guys why I'm not reviewing every planner like I have in previous years. I'm just really trying to make better business decisions on my end because I want them all, guys. Like, I want the shelf of planners. I want to review all the planners, and it just logically just doesn't make sense to do it that way. So I'm really trying. I picked a few extras that I really loved and really wanted to review. I reached out to planner companies where I love their planners and would love to review them again. Certain planner companies, like, I loved working with you guys in 2023, told them views stuff and said I would love it and be honored if I could review your planner for 2024. I absolutely reached out to some of my favorite ones like that. There are some that I got for 2023 that I didn't reach back out to them, even if I worked with them, even if they were great to work with. I just found that I had to turn down some and also not like reach out to some as well. So I'm really trying to be a little bit choosier, and I definitely turned it down quite a few. I know which ones I'd like to also review, and I've worked with these companies in the past and I feel like it's mutually beneficial, and some I didn't. So it's gonna be a little bit smaller of a planner launch season, and you'll see that reflected. While I will have a lot of planner videos for planner launch, and I'm gonna feed into the planner launch frenzy, I also toned it down way more than years past. You know, I'm 3 years into like really diving deep into the planner community and wanting to review things and share with you guys. I've really changed my approach for this one. So part of this video is to just kind of explain myself, and part of it is to try to help you guys see the same thing I'm trying to see, is like, you don't need every planner. You don't have to spend too much money on planners. I don't know how much I spent on planners the last 2 years, but it was a lot. Like, some of this is stuff I purchased, you know, a lot of it was sent to me, but I also spend a lot of money on these planners. Anyway, that's really all I have to say. Just don't feed into too much of the hype. Really just go in, know your list, know your wish list. Pick out a few at the most. Like, don't pick out 10. Try not to go overboard. Watched some people's Hobonichi videos and they're like, I got 12 Hobonichis. And it's like, what are you gonna do with 12 Hobonichis? Like, I'm judging them just like people are judging my shelf here. It's like, you don't need 12. Like, you just don't. And there are people that do YouTube, but they do it like me, like as a hobby, where you don't need 12. You know, you don't need a dozen of the same ones. They got like one Hobonichi weeks in every color, and I'm guilty. I bought 2, you know, so I'm guilty of that too. So I'm speaking to myself just as much as I'm speaking to you guys about this, but I just wanted to put it all out there, share this before we really dive into planner launch season. I've got 3 boxes of planners coming to me from various companies. I've got some pre-orders. I've got some other planner companies I'm working with. So I've got quite a bit coming down the pipeline, and I really want to just put this kind of video of like, all right guys, back to reality. I know everything's fun and exciting, but we gotta think a little bit more logically sometimes about it and not just be like, shiny new, I want it. Even though that's how I live my life a lot. I'm like, I'm a little bit impulsive about shiny new planners and pens and all that stuff. So I wanted to put this out there. I hope that it didn't come across as too judgmental or too hypocritical. I'm really, you know, coming from a place of love for you guys, a place of love for myself. Here, we're gonna rant for a minute before I let you go, we're gonna rant for a minute. You can't love every single planner. Like, I get from one standpoint, you can appreciate all the pretty colors and stuff, but I don't trust any planner YouTuber who only has nice things to say about every single planner that they talk about. They are trying to make money. That's what they're doing. So if somebody can sit down with a planner, appreciate the whole thing, talk about its positives and its negatives, I trust that person. So there are a few that I trust, really good, like a few. But there are a lot of them that totally love every single thing about every single planner, and I just cannot trust that. So like, part of my review is coming up with negative things to say about the planner, because it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. There are things I don't like about every single planner, even some of my absolute favorites. There are things I have that are criticisms that I do mention. Like, one of the things I love Erin Condren for is they make things in the United States. One of my other absolute favorite planner companies, Moxie Life, they order their stuff from overseas. I don't like that everything's made overseas. So that's a main gripe I have with Moxie Life. And I mention that in some of my Moxie Life videos. It's like, you guys know this planner is made in China. You know, this other thing is made in Taiwan, whatever. It's made in not the United States. And one of the things I gave Erin Condren huge credit for after I visited their facility is I didn't realize how much stuff they did in the United States, how many jobs they kept in the United States. And that's why I'm an Erin Condren fangirl to the max now, because I saw they are supporting America. Like, they are growing the business, the economy in America. They're not shipping things from overseas very much. Some of their stuff is, but a lot of their stuff is made in the United States. And I appreciate that. So I gave Erin Condren major credit for that. And that's a criticism I have in various videos. It's like, this one's made in China. This one's made in China from various companies. Definitely not just Moxie Life, but I'll give you guys those honest criticisms, because those are my honest to goodness feelings. And I don't trust planner YouTubers who don't do that. If they're like, oh, it's the best planner ever, you need to buy it right now, and like all it is an infomercial, I don't trust ya, you know? So I want to let you guys know, like, I'm honestly trying to give you guys my best opinions. Yes, I'm gonna try to say nice things, but there are planners I have received in the mail and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I cannot review this. Like, it doesn't meet my standards. I just can't review it. So I've done that to people, done that to planner companies before. So I really try my best to narrow it down as best I can for you guys and for myself. So yeah, I'm ranting about the superficialness of it. This video is gonna be like 10 hours long at this point, but I just wanted to give you guys my whole thought process moving into it. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of seeing the excitement going to town on these different planners, and I want to be a part of the excitement from like my end of like, oh, I want to fit into this group, and also I just am excited about it. You know, I fall into that too. So I really just try not to blow smoke up, you know what's. Like, I really just want to talk about planners that I like, that I think are valuable, and not just talk about all the shiny new planners just to talk about all the shiny new planners. So I hope all that made sense. I hope that wasn't too much rambling. I hope it made sense for you guys. I hope my questions were helpful when we're moving into planner launch season, and I hope that you liked it. So be sure to like, subscribe, follow me along. I've got lots of new planner videos coming, and I appreciate you guys sticking around. I'm almost to 10,000 subscribers, so if you are watching my videos and not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please, just makes a big world of difference to me. I really just want to hit that 10,000 subscriber mark. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you're well. I hope your planner decision making is a little bit easy and not super hard. Sometimes it's really hard to be like, oh, I added it to cart, but I'm not gonna check out. So I hope that it goes smoothly for you guys too, leading into this season. So good luck, and I hope your wish lists and pros and cons lists and all those things work out really well for you guys, and you find what you want. And I really enjoy making those kind of videos like, hey guys, this planner is new and exciting. So thank you for indulging me in some of that as well. But yeah, as a consumer, I feel like it's hard to make some decisions when you're seeing all the excitement going on. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I will catch you next time, guys. Bye.